All right. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome to the Women's Wellness Network, and welcome here to our guest today. Moj, how are you?
I'm doing really well. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's lovely to meet you. And it looks like you're having a
Same here.
great day out there in the world, walking on a lovely day.
Yes, I'm in my beautiful neighborhood. I actually had to come down from the hills because the reception there sometimes gets choppy. So, but it's beautiful. Mornings are great to come out and walk and enjoy the fresh air. So, and
Wonderful.
also get to talk to everybody and your people and my people in this beautiful
Wonderful.
day.
Yeah, right?
Yes,
Lovely. Well, thank you for coming. And
sure.
why don't you start off by telling us where you are in the world?
I am in Bay Area, California,
Very nice.
and yeah, so
Very nice. I think we have quite a few people actually in our group from California, so you never know, right? We never know who we know.
sweet,
Yeah,
sweet.
wonderful. Okay, so why don't you start off by telling us a little bit about who Moj is?
Um, well, as far as the three-dimensional me, I am originally from Iran. I grew up there, and I came to school after revolution. Came to U.S. after revolution, and so I have had a whole lot of life stories to share from um, life as a child and as a teenager and as a young adult coming to U.S. and being in survival mode and but still keeping my head high and enjoying every minute of it, even in the hardship of um, you know trying to make ends meet. I went to somehow I mean if I when I look back, I am also kind of surprised myself. I went to UC Berkeley, finished a school of engineering, became an engineer, and you know, then I chose not to be an engineer because I just, had my second daughter. It took me 7 years, and my second daughter was the straw that broke the camel's back. So I made that call that I just want to be a mom. And my husband was like, but you are not the housewife type. I'm like, who said housewife? I said stay home mom. That doesn't mean any housework stuff's going to be involved. Anyhow, and so uh, con- uh, I had not a single soul agreed with me to stop my engineering job. To my parents, to my brother, to my husband, to my friends. But it was something that I went in and I literally did a month of meditation around it, and I made that choice. And uh, then I became a yoga teacher. That fell into my lap. After that, everything was organic. That teaching yoga fell into my lap. I got asked to teach on campus at Stanford for a health improvement program out of blue. I taught there for 15 years pre-pandemic. And then 7 years ago, 8 years ago, maybe more even, I started into the coaching route and became a transformational work. And one of my clients 2 years back called me a spiritual catalyst. And I appreciated that because I I I do the hand holding, I do the help, but um, I want to have the way I want to work is for to be a catalyst, so the person just can do everything on their own rather than um, being attached to somebody like a coach or somebody else all the time. So that's in a nutshell. I have two beautiful daughters; they're adult kids now, and I'm married, and I'm enjoying my work. And not only, it's the impact and income and impact at the same time. So why not?
Perfect. That. I think that sounds
Yes,
like a great balance, right? Impact,
yes,
having impact in the world, being of service, and receiving back the energy that you're putting out in a way, right?
yes,
Yeah, that's
yes,
wonderful.
yes,
I love how you decided, you meditated, you really listened to your heart and
yes,
went for it. And now look at you, right? So that's
yes,
the thing. I think a lot of people, they think, oh, I need to get on this path and I need to do this job and I need to, please my parents and whoever else in the
yes,
world. And yeah, what about us?
yes,
Right?
yes, yes. Well, I ever since I was a kid, I was the second child. My brother is almost 4 years older than me. You know,
we lose her? Did we lose her? Did we lose me? I'm back, Moj.
And but my parents never checked my grades. They would check my brothers, but they never checked my grades because I was so on autopilot. Like
Mm.
I was a very I was the kind of a kid that would ask a lot of questions. So I was always told, can you kind of like go to your room? Because I was so curious all the time. And then at the same time, I was really good at school, and I didn't need much supervision as a kid. And so I kind of made all my choices by myself. And then when my mom would ask me to do something in a certain way, I would just say, no, I don't want to do it that way. And my mom would be right for me to do it that way. But I was like, no, that doesn't work for me. I'm not going to do something just because everybody else wants me to do it. So I was kind of like growing up. I grew up like that within the family even. So even to this day, one of my cousin's husband one time in a gathering says, well, Moj kind of jumps in another frequency. She's in another frequency. And I'm like, that's true. I'm kind of hanging out in another space. So when it came to and again, that's why I think eventually ended up into coaching, is because if I had someone that I could for a minute even agree with me to do what I want to do, and I could have somebody to work with, that 7 years could have been shortened a whole lot more. But it took me, like I was very inspired with my work. I loved my work. I was making good money, golden handcuff, all of the above. But when I had my first kid, my first daughter, I was like, I want to be the one who plays with my kid. I want to be the one and I breastfed both of them for a long time. So I kept my connection with them as much as I could, but it got to a point that this is my calling at this time frame in life. It doesn't make sense, Silicon Valley sense. It doesn't, nobody agrees with me, but this is what I want to do. And that's one of the main reasons that I went into coaching, was because if somebody would just tell me at that moment, would have said, let's sit down and see, what is it that you truly want? And that's actually the main part of my work is, you may come to me for something, but I would have you come up with what is it that you truly want. And when we get to what is that you truly want, that because we are so convoluted with so many things in our lives, that it's so layer on top of layers that we see underneath. And it's for us to just undoing and peeling. So that's actually how my work starts with my clients, is what is it that you truly want? And then we go for that.
Great question. That's a great place to start, right?
Yes.
Because if you don't know, how can you work towards
Yes.
anything? You have got to have a starting place.
No.
And I think obviously,
yes. And then sometimes you think sometimes you think sometimes you think but it's because we're also under influence. We're under influence of not just marketing, not just, the society. We're under influence of hereditary, ancestral, society, economically, all of that. We think if you don't have money, we can't do certain things. I mean, but what is it that you truly want?
Right.
What is it that you truly want, regardless of anything and anybody, anything, any subject, regardless of anything?
Well, I'm feeling a little bit of a kinship here with you, Moj, being a little bit of a rebel myself, stepping outside of the boxes all the time in my life, not, wanting to do it how I thought that it should be. And I really appreciate that. I think it's amazing because a lot of people they're intimidated and they're not brave enough, I guess, because it's scary to be able to go against the norm and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yes. And I think it's not that we want to go against the norm. We just want to do what feels right for us. And for the longest time, my Facebook group, I think that's what I think I've been more in this. I think I just had my 10-year anniversary for my Facebook group. Originally,
Oh.
I had it called up to last year, up to a few months ago, I had it called What's Right With You.
Mhm.
That was my group's name, What's Right With You. So we just want to do what's right for us. And it may not be right for anybody else. And that's why, we also have that tolerance that if somebody else wants to do something some other way, be my guest.
Right.
Do it that way. If that resonates with you, by all means. Not everybody has to do what feels right for me. And so it's not necessarily to say, oh, I'm gonna be different and I'm gonna not do what you ask me to do. However, to be honest with you, that actually kind of raised the question for me when I see everybody else is doing something. That actually makes me sit back and ask myself the question, is that really what I want to do? Like that's my that's like one of my indicators of uh, check check yourself before going that route. Not, but just because everybody else is doing it doesn't mean that I'm going to do it. So
Right.
yes, yes,
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. Yeah. Old soul in a new being. We have
yes,
yeah,
yes,
I think that's where we get those little, those little inklings come from that it's, you know, where does that come from? From
mm,
our past, from our genetics, from the divine, from our frequency that we are. We get those little things and it's like you got to listen sometimes and sometimes it's really hard to listen. It's really hard to listen to our
yes,
intuition when it says go, do this, go this way, go this way. But
yeah,
amazing things happen when you do that.
yes. So, one of the indicators is that, when, it's good to know what we are feeling at every given moment, because the good indicators, like depression is one good indicator. Depression
Right.
is one good indicator that you're not doing what you want to be doing. So to me, depression is a gift. I mean, I have had conversations and talks on that, when you feel depressed, it's actually a gift because it's telling you you're not living the life that you truly want to live. So that's like, aha, oh, that's why I'm depressed. So let me look at this. Otherwise, you wouldn't know and you could just live your life without even any clue. So depression and being sad for nothing and kind of having that nagging voice in the back of your mind and having that internal frown all the time. Those are all gifts that tell us, hey, we're not happy. Let's do something about this.
Yeah, right. Yes. Yes. Yay.
Yes. Yes.
And it's awesome that there are people that can show us that. There's mirrors for us out there, and there's coaches for us out there, and there's people that have been there already and are on the other side of it and want to share like yourself, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So when you work with clients, okay, first of all, do you work with clients just in person or do you work with clients online also?
Right now, mainly online.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that
Before it would be, yeah, before pandemic and all that, it would be in group settings and in a one-on-one. I even had like I did like this intensive with someone for 2 weeks, like stay together for 2 weeks in this intensive. But right now, it's mainly virtual.
Okay, well, see, that's handy, that's convenient for people. I mean, we are global, so people can reach us from all over the world. And right, doesn't mean just because you're in California doesn't mean that they can't talk to you if they're in the Philippines or in Australia or in Iran, even
Yes.
anywhere, right? Like you're reachable
Yes.
for everybody. So when you work with
Yes.
clients, what I know you told us a little bit about, the first thing that you like to do, but what kind of modalities, what kind of things really, I know it's probably uh, individualized, I guess, for each person. But what are the kind of things that you'd love to use with people, like little tools that you like to give them?
Well, over the years, ever since I was a kid, I was into meditation. My grandparents both were poets, so they always would go to the depth of their hearts and they would speak of something, and so I kind of learned a whole lot of intuitive communications inherently. And my mom used to go to these meetings, which I could call them like Sufism meetings. And she was always so busy. For me to spend time with her, I would go to the meetings with her. And I would sit in the audience with her. I'll be my time with her. So I kind of got a lot of that downloaded. So when I work with individuals, I do a lot of listening, and then from there, as you said, it's very tailored to what they need at that moment. And there are techniques like super conscious techniques that we have conscious, we have subconscious, and there's this super conscious. There's some super conscious techniques that I can pull in. If there's things we need to kind of release, there's meditation techniques, there's tapping, there's Reiki, like just connecting. There's some self-havening, which is you do some some self caressing to kind of release things or get the nervous system reset. So there's all these different techniques, and then also framework for my work. Like I have a framework that's called Lucky, and it's like how to get lucky, and it's like you create your own luck, and then from outside you look lucky. Like I talk to my cousins, they always say, "Oh, you're so lucky," and I'm like, "Mm-hmm, I am," but it's like where that luck came from is my intention, the where I put my energy in, and where I refrain from just collecting and from refrain from just having, and that's how I uh, it's not the intellectual way of being, as far as, oh, your intellect might say, oh, you got to do this and you got to do that to be lucky. It's more of coming from heart and doing all the things that is right for you. You kind of get into that vibration, that frequency. That universe says, oh, you like this, here more. You want more
Right?
happiness, here more. Or if you're more sad, the universe says, oh, it seems like you like sadness, here more. And I call it which pool you want to swim in. So if you're swimming in this pool, universe gives you more of that. If you swim in that pool, universe gives you more of that. So it all depends. And I do have a framework that I'm recently put together, which is called Queen. It's to reclaim your queenness.
Nice. I like that.
So yeah, so I do have like framework for how I communicate. So kind of gives it also, because I still do have that left brain. I studied my physics, and back in Iran, your high school has a major. Even your high school has a major. So my major in high school was physics and mathematics and physics. So, and then I was in engineering school at UC Berkeley and all of that. And I worked as an engineering manager. I managed part of the reliability engineering group for this big computer chip company. So I do have that left brain that kind of works. So I can kind of use some of that to kind of give a structure, kind of give a frame to the work. But then the rest of the work is more heartfelt, more spiritually connectedness. And I usually, people who I work with, they know that they're gonna get bits and pieces of the spirituality in there. They're gonna hear things that they're like, what? And I'm like, just bear with me. Just bear
Fair.
with me.
That's
Just
fair.
be,
Well, you
just
seem
yeah.
very balanced. You offer all ends of the spectrum, so that makes you very balanced. And ultimately, we're all trying to be balanced. I think balance is where, you find the most everything is there
Yes.
within balance. So that's amazing. You got some
Yes,
friends.
yes,
Oh, that's so nice.
yes, yes,
You're human
yes.
too. You're not just a coach and a superwoman. You're a human. You're a human.
No, no, no. And
I'm gonna.
that's one of the things. Yeah, that's one of the things that you come out, you'll see friends, and you see nature, you see birds, you see a deer. Why not?
Right.
Why not?
Beautiful. That's amazing. I just wanted to ask you one question. When you
Sure.
decided that you wanted to be was there a moment that decided that for you that, yeah, I'm going to be a coach. I'm going to go help people. I realized that this is my path instead. You went from
Yes.
being an engineer to really just diving into being a mother and what all that entails. But was there
Yes.
that moment that said, hey, Moj, I think you should be doing this?
Yes. So, the after I stopped doing my technical work, the rest of it sort of came very organically. Like I literally was asked to teach yoga at the gym I went and I was exercising at. It was all woman gym. I literally was forced to teach yoga there. Literally was forced. Like she was like, "No, you're gonna teach yoga here." And from that, I ended up going and get my certification because I didn't want to be out of integrity. And then from that, I got invited to a lunch, and then this woman was there. She called me 2 weeks later, offered me the job at Stanford, which people kill for that job. And then from that, after class, I always had people standing back, and they would pour their heart and soul out to me, and I'm like, la 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 la. Yeah, I'm not sure if I should be hearing these things, but then eventually, that's also has been a role that I have had in my family. I'm the youngest of the first set of cousins, but somehow to this day, like I still have my aunt still talks to me about things. My uncle, like I'm the one that my cousins come to. So I always had that different point of view that they appreciated, and I also I keep it very neutral. I keep it very neutral, so they all really appreciated that. Um, Good morning, and but after having the students stay behind and talking to me, it just I don't even remember how it formed, but I think it was literally like one of my students saying, "I want to work with you. I want to work with you. Would you work with me?" And that was when we started having phone calls, and then right at that moment, like I started seeing some kind of like Tony Robbins stuff coming my way, some super conscious stuff coming my way, some stuff that I can give these modalities a name, and kind of gain. And then I started doing Reiki training, and it's like, oh, all of this, and I still facilitate meditation for the Unity of Palo Alto. It's a spiritual center that we're involved in. I still do meditation facilitation for them before the service on Sundays. So all these things kind of came together, and then most of my clients are women who are want that shift. They know that they deserve more. They know that there is more out for them, and there a whole lot of them are whole lot of them are professional women. Whole lot of them are women who, like me, they were doing professional work before and now they're at home. And a whole lot of them, they might not have professional work, but their mind always is like, I could do better. I want more. I want more. And which there is nothing wrong with that. Wanting more.
Right?
More,
Of
please.
course not.
Yes.
Yeah, of
More,
course. That's
please.
we're
Yes.
we're here to
Yes.
enjoy and live and be happy doing it. And yeah, why not accept
Yes.
everything that is on our path? I love that. That's
Yes.
amazing. Your journey to get to where you are today. Yeah, that's spectacular.
Yes.
It's like you
Yeah.
were
And my
magnetizing
second,
all that stuff.
yeah, I think my third client or fourth client was actually a gentleman who called me, and he was a student of mine, and he called me from Europe, and he said, I heard you're coaching now. I want to work with you. I'm like, you know what? I mainly work with women. He goes, no, I want to work with you. And then I said, okay. So we worked together, and then he signed up his wife to work with me. So both of them worked for like a duration of a year with me, and that was like another boost for me. Like, oh, I am doing the right thing. Like um, you get more of uh, check. This is the path. This is the right path for me to go, and it feels good to kind of have conversations like this, and you
Yeah.
hang up and you're energized and you feel good about. So that gauge is also like how this work leaves you.
Mm.
And then you hang up and you're done and you're like, ah, you can see the light bulbs. Like that's my favorite thing in my work, that when that light bulb goes on, that's like, I wish I could take like an animated picture right there and then, the way the eyes light up, the way the face shifts and all of that.
Right.
Those are like my favorite things in the world to see.
Oh, it's so
Yes.
beautiful. Yeah, I totally get that. It's amazing. And okay, so if our women would like to work with you, how can they do that? How can they find you? How can they find out more about you?
Yes. So I'm on Facebook. My name is way longer on Facebook, so I actually put it in the chat for you. So if you wanna, if you have a write up with this call, you could put my name. That's how they can find me on Facebook. On Instagram, I go by Coach Moj. So Coach and then Moj, and Coach Moj comes from the days that I coached both my daughters' sport teams. So everybody at school was somebody's mom or somebody's dad. I was Coach Moj. Even all the kids who didn't coach with me called me Coach Moj. So when I became a coach, I'm like, okay, this name.
Right.
So my
Yeah.
Instagram handle is Coach Moj. So, uh, and then I guess those two nowadays, those two are the best way because you can do everything on Facebook. You can call on Facebook. You can, video chat. You can message on Facebook. So same as Instagram. So those are ways if somebody wants to get a group, which is also on Facebook, and it's for women over. It's called the Goddess Group. It's for I mainly have mostly women in there. I think 100% women in there. I'm trying to kind of keep it like that for a little longer, just to have it a place for women to come and again find the goddess and the queenness and all that.
I
Because
love that.
I, yeah, I sincerely believe that as women we've been suppressed for too long, and it's like we are like bursting out, and I want to totally promote that.
Yes, yes,
Yes,
yes, yes, yes. Oh my goodness. Yes,
yes,
it's time, right? It's time for us to get out from underneath that dirt, underneath that
yes,
layer of manure and bloom.
yes,
It's time for us to,
yes,
yeah,
and
take all that we've
in a
got and
feminine
go.
way. Yes,
Right.
and in a feminine way, not in a I'm gonna go hold go raw, no to this, no to that, in a very feminine way, because that's where our power is. I grew up with a brother, so I was always very masculine. I was an engineer in a class of, I don't know, 500 at one point at Berkeley with 5 women, 495 men. So I was always with guys. Even my work, I was the only high manager that was female. But I started tapping into my feminine side, and I see how things happen much easier and more fluid. So I'm all for using our feminine energy, because that's what is where our power is.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
That
Well, I would
softness.
love to.
Yes.
Is there anything else you would love to tell us before we wrap up
No,
here?
no, I appreciate this time with you. And I trust whoever gets to watch this learns at least one or two things, because that's what I intrinsically, that's what I really want, is that impact. So I would appreciate, feedback as far as what people get out of this, because that's what fuels us. That's what gets us excited. So I would love to come back and see the conversation here.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, Women
Yes.
of the Women's Wellness Network. We will put all of Mojdeh's information into the comments section so you can connect with her, learn more about her group, maybe even join her group. Why not? The more the merrier. The more we have support and ways to connect and grow with each other, the better we'll be, and the sooner we can get there, wherever that is.
Yes. Yes.
So, yeah, I just wanted to say thank you again, Moj, for coming. It was really lovely to speak with you today. And Women of the Women's Wellness Network, of course, until next time, be well.
Thank you so much.